Hey folks, it's Johnny at Prepper Base 1. Today is September 11th, 2020, and 19 years ago today our country was attacked by foreign terrorists who hate this nation and everything it stands for. They attacked the Twin Towers in New York City, and they caused great loss of life and great destruction of property. And it occurred to me this morning that there are people who are going to vote in this next election who weren't even alive then. The people who were adults then, who remember it, have something in common with the people who were alive during the Pearl Harbor attack, December 7th, 1941, in that they will always tend to remember where they were and what they were doing when they heard of the attack. For myself, I had retired from the Army. I was in Fairborn, Ohio, right next to Wright Pat Air Force Base, and I decided to go back to college with my GI Bill. And I had a pretty steady regimen. I'd get up early in the morning, my coffee maker would have coffee ready. I'd turn on the TV, catch some news, drink some coffee, and then hit the books. For some reason that morning I overslept, and I got up and I turned the TV on, and the coffee maker had burnt the coffee, so I was making more. And I'm hearing this lady interview an air safety expert talking about how maybe it was possible for a pilot to get sun blinded and run into a building. And right then they cut to the next news break, and that was when the second plane hit the second tower. And I remember standing there with a coffee cup in my hand thinking, our world just changed, and it's never going to be the same, and it hasn't. For days afterwards, things were crazy where I was. Of course, the government grounded all commercial flying. The only people allowed to fly were the military, and at Wright Pat Air Force Base, where I was next to, they had some fighter pilots there who were just having fun, having the entire sky to themselves. And it kind of scared people, but they were showing that our Air Force was in the air protecting us. For weeks afterwards, people were going crazy at the gas lines. That was the shortage then that people imagined, just like the toilet paper thing we just had. And at that time, it actually brought Americans together. And I thought that was a good thing, and I'd hope it'd continue on, but it hasn't. Right now, our nation is under attack by internal terrorists who hate this country and everything it stands for. And I think at this point, we have a crossroads to navigate November 3rd. If everybody who could vote did vote, we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. And I think it's time for Americans to wake up, take a look at our history, and decide what direction we're going to go. So I urge you to vote November 3rd, vote your heart, and let's see if we can pull this country out of the mess we're in. But mostly what I wanted to do today is express my personal and eternal gratitude to those brave men and women in New York who died saving their fellow Americans. And I just want to express my sympathy and prayers for those who remain, the families of those who died there, the innocent people who were just going to work, earning a living, and were murdered by haters. And I want to express my sympathy and prayers for those who are still dying because of things like cancer and other diseases from the toxic fumes they inhaled. That was a terrible time and a terrible incident. And I think it's time for all of us to get our heads out of the dark place, get this nation back together, to not let their sacrifice be in vain. And not only theirs, but all the wars since, all the people that have died in Afghanistan and Iraq, all the wars before. Again, we're at a crossroads. So I just want to say personally thank you to those who have served, bless the families of those who remain, and hopefully we can get it together. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Until next video, God bless, and watch 6.